Hi everyone, it's Linda from LindaZ in Arlington Heights. Grab your cup of coffee. Hope you'll sit down and enjoy it and have a few little tips about what's going on here today. I actually put water in mine. You might want to do the same, or if it's late at night, put something in sparkly in it. Now, so many of you had told me that you enjoyed my step-by-step techniques on the serger for the cover hem, that I decided I would do the same thing for you on an overlock stitch, because that's usually the most popular stitch that we have. So I'm going to take this Bernina. If you haven't seen that other video that we're talking about, go look at it, because I think it will help you with some of the technique that we're talking. And if you have one of our Baby Locks or one of our Jukies or one of our other brands, I know you're going to get a lot out of this too. I would suggest this big book of serging to anybody. I don't care what brand of sewing machine you have, because it's in here. Once you learn your machine, you will learn all kinds of different techniques on what does a serger do and why would I want one and how can I use it. I've had many conversations, as you probably know, with our manager, Mary, who is an absolute expert on serging. And we've talked many times about what would we do if we had to only have one machine. It would be difficult because, of course, I love to embroider, as you can see on this little top. But I love to sew and I love to serge. And I can do just about anything with this serger. I can even do embellishment. I can do chain stitching, which would hold garments together. I mean, there's just a multitude of things. But one of the most important things that I think you think of when you're thinking of a serger is, how do I overcast? So what I wanted to do is start from right at the beginning. You can see this machine here is off. I don't have the screen on, so I'm going to turn it on. There's a little button on the side here, and I'm going to show you what happens. Now, because I was filming before on a cover hem, or I was sewing on a cover hem, this is going to go back to the stitch that I did the last time, which is very smart because the machine is really meant to say, okay, she really was doing cover hems down here, which is what this is. Cover hem is 2 rows of straight stitching together, and then there's a little zigzag on the back. So I might want to do that again, or because I might have adjusted something, I might want to change something. So if I go to my home screen, I can tell myself now I want to go to guided mode. Okay, or if I go here, that little thread up here, if you see that little heart, I might want to go ahead and save this. And if I touch that and say OK here, that will actually be saved into a file. And I might write on there, see, I say I did some work on woven fabric. This is batik. And I might write, I changed the stitch length or whatever. And I like that for every time I would do batik. So I might write on there batik cover, and then I'd save it in my folder. And if there's a place that you can type it in. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get out of that. I want to go now to overlock. Before, when I was showing you, I was in this file, which was cover. I want to now go to overlock. And there's quite a few different types of overlock. There's a 4-thread. There's a 3-thread super stretch. There's a 3-thread wide, narrow, flat lock. I mean, there's just a whole multitude of them. But I want to go right to the top, which I'm going to get out of that again because I went so fast. The overlock, I'm going to go to the top 4-thread overlock with integrated. And the first thing it does, because I'm in the guided mode, it's going to tell me that lift the presser foot and scroll to the next step. And there's a reason why they have you lift the presser foot. If you saw any of my other ones, I just put it down now. Do you know why? It's closed. I'm going to raise it up like it shows you, because now the tensions are all very, very easy to pull through. And you'll see that on the next step. All right. Oh, it tells you unthread the following thread paths. Now, I know you are not going to be concerned about this right now, right? I'm going to clip, clip, and clip. Oh my gosh, people will say, ooh, what am I going to do next? This is so easy to do. I'm going to touch the next. It says attach the presser foot. I already attached the presser foot. The presser foot I was using before was a narrower one because I was using it for a narrow cover hem. But this is your regular presser foot for doing your overlock seams. It's C11, and that's what's on here. It shows you in a video if you don't know what it is. Adjust your presser foot pressure. I'm just going to leave this at 4. That's the default right up here. There's a little mark there that says number 4, and there's a little lever that you can change it, but I'm going to bring it back to 4. Then I'll go back to the next arrow. It says insert needles in the position shown. So now I'm going to open up my wonderful little door here that has all the needles. I know these needles are in good working shape because I just use them, but I am going to take, and what am I going to do if I want to take these needles out? First, I'm just going to pull this thread. You see how I just pulled it right out? Because the foot is up, so it was very easy to get it out. Then I'm going to take the needle and put it, then this little needle holder, and I'm going to take this wonderful set screwdriver. It's a little red handle. It should come with your machine. If it doesn't, you definitely want to have one of those. And I loosened it. Now, do you see by putting that in there, the needle was not going to fall anywhere. I'm going to put it right in the center there because I'm going to use it again. I'm going to do the same thing with the next one. I like to tighten that screw back up that I just took out so it, I didn't loosen it too much. Then the center one I'm going to take out, and that's what these little abbreviations mean. See, it's back in there. I was going to take it out, but you can see it came out with the flat side of the needle to the back. So I'm going to put that right in the center. This means left needle position, right needle position, and it's for the back. So now I want to put those back in. I'm sure it's going to tell you that, and if you looked at your little video, it would, but I did that the normal way, but now I want to get them back in, and it's a little bit harder to do that. So what can I do with the Bernina that other machines don't do? You're exactly right. See how I just moved that out? And it would be much easier to do that with the foot out to the side. So now I'm going to take those same needles because I know they work and they haven't had, I like to change my needles every 6 to 8 hours. And if I haven't been sewing on them, then, if it's just been an hour or so, then there's no reason to change it. So I put that one in there in the left needle position. I always put the needle when I'm using this little tool again. So now both needles are in place. You can see according to the screen here that we have the left needle position and the right needle position. So now I'm going to use my stylus. That's what comes with the machine. That's probably easier for you to see. So we go to the next screen, which says activate the knife. Now, if you remember, the knife was down here. We didn't use it when I was doing a cover hem, but now there's a little lever over here on the right-hand side at the bottom. I'm just going to push it up. And do you see what happened there? That you could hear it click, and here is the knife. Let me pull the foot out so you can see. See how the knife came up? And again, if you don't know how to do that, there's a little screen that shows you. Then you can adjust the cutting width. They have this, they suggest this be at 6. The cutting width is down here. It's this little round knob. Let me move it so you can see it here. See how it says number 6 on here? But you can adjust this in many ways. You can adjust it to 5.5, to 6, 6.5. Don't feel like you can't. It also has this little micro text dial that goes over the edge that keeps your fabric right nice and tight to the little loops. So there are many wonderful adjustments that you can make. So now we've done that. We put it on 6. We're going to go to the next setting. It says attach the knife cover insert. Well, this was used prior for a cover hem, and we didn't have a knife up here. Well, we don't want to leave this on and cut our fingers. So what we're going to do, and they have this nice little lever. I don't know if you can see that. See how it's easy to pull out when you have this little lever right here? Pull it out, bring it back, and then all I have to do is take and slide that off. And it's got 3 little positions here. I'll take that off. And now I'm going to put the overlock cover in. Just slides right in. And look at how nice. Again, it's got that little position to be able to bring it up or down. And see, now it protects the knife. All right, the next, activate your upper looper. Well, in order to do that, I showed you the video on the cover hem with that. I'm going to show you it on here because I think it's important. Now remember, there are 2 knobs there. So if we are going to activate the looper knob, we want the knob to the left. And if you look at it again, it's a real quick little video and it plays over and over. It is at the left. We're going to turn it to the right. That machine is so smart, it knows that. And then I'm going to press my pressure foot, and you see what happened? That looper is going to come back down. So I can bring this back. You see how now it's coming back up again because I've got it to the right. So that's a real important little video that I think you'll want to see. You can see there is your upper looper. You see how I brought it back up when I touched my foot control. I'm at a little hard position here to be pressing this foot control, but this knob is really important. Now, what am I going to do next after I've done this? Is there something that, of course, you see how it says? You're going to make sure it stays there. And if you go right to the end, you'll see that's the last thing. It was important that we press that foot. We know that that cover lock is, that overlock is up, and we're ready to go. So let's get out of that. Go to the next little video, hook out upper looper converter. This is that little converter here. Do you see that little piece right here? And that's what, if you see the arrow, it's going to show you to bring it back. So watch the little video on that. It'll come up real clear. See how it was, sometimes it's there and you want to push it back for an overlock stitch. So we're all set, ready to go. We don't have to do that again. Let's go to the next one. Set the rolled hem selection lever to 0, which we have. Adjust the microtech, that's a micro thread control. That's this little control right here. I'm going to leave it on 0 because that's what it says, but if you wanted to move this, that's where it moves your threads slightly out or in, so you can get it real nice and tight to the edge of your stitch. That's a wonderful control that most of your machines don't have. And now this is the real simple one. This is just thread the pass in according to left needle, which is your yellow, right needle, which is your green, upper looper. I'm going to show you upper and looper, but I'll just go ahead and thread those real quick for you. So I did the left one for you, but I want to just show you real quickly, just a little quick tip that I think is important. You just follow the colors. It's very simple. And follow the level down. Again, there's a video that will show you. But I try to hold that thread as I'm going through. And you can see I push it to the back. And of course, the reason you have this wonderful foot is so that you can push it out of the way when you are doing the threading. The little diamond is up. You're going to find the little, you're going to go down the needle. See that little loop? You're going to catch it with your hook of your thread. And this is a little tip I wanted to show you. Close that. Take the thread and cut it over your thread cutter in the back. Now you have the threads exactly at the right stitch length. Now let's go to the upper lever, the upper looper, which is going to show you in the blue. And that is going to be this little path right here. I'm going to get a new spool of thread to put it on there. And I'm going to stop it part way through because you can see what's happening there. I will take the thread, seat it real nicely on that thread path, bring it through the thread holder. I'm going to catch it into the thread piece. And then if you notice they had said something right here, and that was moving that lever. Now it's at the right knob. There's two knobs. We're moving the right knob to the left. So let's continue. You see what it's doing? It's having you pull another big amount of thread down, and then it's going to have you put that above the blue color. And once it's above the blue, I'm going to touch the foot control. It happens. It just goes right through. It's so wonderful what they've done here. I just am amazed at how these engineers put this together. And I'm going to do the same thing with this looper. I'm going to cut it over the thread trimmer in the back. And you can see it got that a little bit out, but that's fine. It'll be the right length anyway. The last one, and again, we'll get out of that. Let's hit the lower looper. You can see that it's going to go through the back in the red. And I'm going to change, I'm going to stop that a moment so you can see it. I want to put this thread back here because we were on a purple thread up here, but now what we're going to do is we are going to be on a red thread. Again, hold it in the back when you go through and you can kind of hear it click. And then I like to bring this thread out a little bit so I've got a little extra. Then let's hit that lower looper video again. You can see the thread, the red thread coming up. I already brought it through the little looper and the little clip back there. I brought it down through the red. I'm going to bring this that I already turned now. This knob I already turned to the right. I'm going to bring it up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a press with my presser foot, and then, whoop, voila, it went right through. That's a little bit longer than I want, so I'm going to cut a little bit of that off. We're done. I can clip that closed. I can go ahead and, oh, why can't I close this? Anybody know? We weren't finished yet. Okay. So we are all set and ready to do our overlock stitch. Now I'm going to use, I just have one little piece of fabric here and I've got 4 layers, which is really more than I want to do on this. So let me open this up so we've got a bigger, longer piece to sew with. I like to have maybe 2 layers at a time. It's a very small piece, but at least it'll give you an idea of what I'm doing for the overlock. Now I'm going to measure this right in front of the knife. See the little knife right here? What I would normally do if I am working with a big piece of fabric, I would put this tray on now, which is such a beautiful piece of equipment. It's just easy to slide on, and it's got a little lever on the bottom so that when you are sliding it on, you can just hear it when it clicks in. Now let's go ahead and line that up with a cutter. Of course you want to release your pressure or your presser foot. And then I want to get our video off here. You can see how nice that stitch is. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. I want to see it over here. It's absolutely perfect. The stitches are right out to the edge. If they weren't, you could take that Microtech knob and turn it. So these are just some little tips that I've been showing you that I think are really, really important. This is the front. That's your back. Showing you nice firm stitch all the way across. Again, don't hesitate to send us any kind of little comments. We'd love to have them. There are other methods of doing and using with this machine, but I wanted to show you some step-by-step and along the way do a couple of little tips that would give you a little good information. Sure, it's in the book and it's in other places, but I think it helps when you hear it from somebody that you know is using it, and let me know what you are doing with it. So thanks everyone for joining us. I hope to see you next week.